Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow Show, episode number 593. How about that? I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And we also have Ramsey Solutions certified audio as well. I'm kidding about that part, but we do have audio. It works. So we're all good. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, as well as the music playlist. Has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. What is first? Would that be the market report? It would be. And up today, led by, of course, the NASDAQ. Again, you S&P 500 index people only. People are nutty. You're leaving so much money on the table by at least not delving into the NASDAQ. But of course, Mr. Ramsey's advice is only managed funds for retirement. No index funds. And you know why? Because those managed funds, not all of them, you might have to look for a few minutes. But there are managed funds out there that beat the indexes. So you're leaving money on the table by just doing the S&P 500 index. Anyway, let's see what the rest of the planet is looking like. Mostly up in Europe. Mostly down in Asia. And let's see what that US dollar is looking like. Down to the euro. Down to the Japanese yen. Down to the British pound, love, down to the Canadian dollar, and down to the Australian dollar, making it a clean sweep. And again, it holds true what seems to be happening, and I don't know the exact relationship in it. I guess I could Google it. I'll Google it if I remember, and get back to you on that as to why that would be, or if there's even a causation involved in that. But I will take the good market day and the weaker dollar at any time you want, because there's always going to be bad market days. They're going to happen regardless, and then the dollar will be up. So maybe new high today for the NASDAQ. Let's see. Yeah, so that should be a new high, I believe, it looks like. If it stays anywhere near where it is now. Of course, anything could change by the afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe, is when the final bell rings. Ding, 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 ding. And they close trading for the day. We have Nike. On tomorrow, reporting tomorrow. Of course, that's Nike. I know that. Apple down again. Down on Friday. Got to get down on Friday. Apple got to be down on Friday, apparently. Everything else up? Yeah, everything else up. Led by 0.78%. The Amazon is the highest. Microsoft launches Vibe working in Excel and Word. I don't even want to know what that is. Video gamer Electronic Arts to be acquired for $52.5 billion in largest ever private equity buyout. Okay. Trump admin puts $625 million toward keeping coal plants open, lower energy costs. Where's the 625? coming from. That's all right. We'll just borrow it. Barbecue Dynasty's feud is rocking a Texas town with another barbecue place. Yeah, you don't want to have, I mean, you know, Texas feud, that could go nasty really quickly. 58 million pounds of corn dogs are recalled because of wood in the batter. How about we don't have wood in the batter? And I guess wood from the sticks. Some kind of bizarre factory problem. Introducing parental controls on what? OpenAI. All right. Probably a good idea. We'll take it. Let's look for the NVIDIA. Loans are down there, 2.61% up. And that if there were 7 over here, this would be part of it. And that is part of the Magnificent 7. It's these 6 stocks plus the NVIDIA. Alrighty, as far as news, Yahoo Finance. Trump pays path for private equity and crypto and retirement accounts. Here's what it means for your 401k. Nothing if you follow Dave Ramsey's advice, because you would not be investing in private equity firms and you would not be investing in crypto. You would be doing managed mutual funds in retirement. So it doesn't change anything. But for other people, you might have the ability to do that. And as far as I understand it, I believe this just makes it possible, but it would still be up to 1, your employer, and 2, the brokerage that your retirement account is in, whether they want to allow it. Because there could be a bunch of other, or who knows what else is involved in that, more paperwork and so forth. So, but that's an executive order. That was Thursday. That was back in August, though. But I just saw this the other day, and it wasn't even this. It was a Yahoo itself news story, but I can't find, even using Yahoo, I couldn't find the Yahoo story on it. And it was a little bit different, differently worded than this. So I don't know what happened to it. I saw that last night, searched for this morning, and this closest I could find. And now it's time for a new segment. New segment going to be on my financial streams, and it's called the budgeting question of the day. Ever since I found the reddit.com/r/budget. I think I knew about that in the back of my mind. But then the other night on a stream, I just checked for it because other financial streams came up, and that was one of them. And so I just took a look at it and looked at a couple of the questions. But so we go from the bottom up, and there can only be 1,000 at a time, apparently, in the subreddits. And so the one that I did last night is gone. And so we got a different one. At the bottom, correct draft, paid bi-weekly but monthly budget, extra paycheck, question mark. I have ADHD, and I'm just starting to really organize my budget. Did I open that? I did. I get paid bi-weekly and have my paycheck automatically divided into following bank accounts. I think I've been getting paid every 2 weeks. Probably. I think really hard. I think I can remember my very first pair of shoes. Probably early 2000s. Maybe even before that, but it's been a long time, so I'm very used to being paid every 2 weeks. So let's see, have my paycheck automatically divided in the following bank accounts. Okay, you don't need a different bank account for everything. I mean, if that helps you keep track of it, knock yourself out. And it doesn't cost you a fee for each one of these different accounts. And maybe the person also, you never know, people are nutty. Maybe the person says the following bank accounts, but they mean it's in a bucket inside one bank account. They allow you to have like different things. Basically, on a computer, it would be like a folder. Like within one folder, which would be the bank, you can have as many folders in that folder as you want to. Let's see, rent slash bills, short-term savings. We would not have the short-term savings unless they were sinking funds for a specific thing. The long-term savings, that would be your emergency fund. But again, this is just budget. So these people not necessarily following, even know about Dave Ramsey. It's possible. Monthly spending $700 a month, $350 paycheck. Of course, I'll be looking at it from the Ramsey perspective, though. This includes groceries, gas, entertainment, etc. $700 a month, $350 a paycheck. And yeah, it doesn't really work out like that. So if you're not aware, oh, I can't do the, I was going to do calculator. Oh, I guess I could go online, and there's probably a website that's a calculator on it, but I don't need to. But basically, it doesn't work that way when you get paid bi-weekly, because instead of 52 checks, you get 26 checks. So to find out what that average is per month, you have to multiply the amount of money you get on each check times 26 if it's the same amount, or you go with the lowest amount it will be and budget on that, and then anything extra is gravy on the biscuit. Where was I? Oh, 26, right? That's being paid every 2 weeks, and then the lowest amount your check would be, and that is your total net for the year. And then you divide that number by 12, and that gives you the monthly average of what it would be. Again, you can do the different numbers if you want to, but it's for, in budgeting, that is for future, and you don't know maybe how many hours, how much overtime you'll get, etc., etc. So again, budget on the lowest it will be. But that's how you figure out it'll be per month. So a $350 a paycheck every 2 weeks is not always $700 a month. It's at least $700, but like there's going to be some months where you have 3 paychecks instead, and so it's going to be more, right? The answer is yes. Groceries, gas, entertainment, etc. I don't know that I would put that. I would do a different category for groceries alone, because that's a big deal. That tends to get away from you. And I would think maybe the 700 is going to be mostly groceries there. And so if you're one person, you could cut that down probably from what you're spending on it now. But you didn't give a breakdown, so don't know. And that's why I would have the breakdown on just groceries. And just gas, it's good to know about that too. And the entertainment, that would be fun money in Ramsey land. All my bills are on auto pay from the rent bills account, so I don't really look at them. Yeah, that's awful darn convenient. For most people, I would recommend don't do that. I would recommend doing them yourself, because then you look at it, so then you know how much electricity you're using. And if it like goes up 1 month, then you are aware of it. So if it's on auto pay, you might not be paying any attention to it. You might not know that you have some kind of problem that's costing you more money. And again, you're not aware of the money going out. And so paying it manually lets you see what that is every month. And it doesn't take that long to make a freaking online payment. Every calendar month, I spend my monthly spending on my credit card. Not advised, of course, by Mr. Ramsey. Knowing that I have 700 total, and then I have it set to auto pay the 700 from my monthly spending account on the first of the month. Why don't you just use your money instead of using the credit card's money? But again, this is not people necessarily doing the Ramsey advice or even know about him at all. Where are we? So what's the problem? This essentially zeroes out monthly spending account, which then fills up again after 2 paychecks. Right. And if you use your money to do it, you're getting rid of that step, those 2 different steps. You're getting rid of those. You're getting, well, multiple. You're getting rid of the putting it in that account, if it is an account. You're doing that. Then you are spending it on a credit card, and then you're paying the credit card off with the other bank account. And now, all that, of course, can be automated. But again, the more stuff is automated, the less you are aware that it's going on. And you don't see the amounts, etc., etc. Statement is on the 27th, so it works well. That doesn't mean anything. Again, sometimes you get 3 checks in 1 month. So you think it works well. And again, if it keeps you from overspending, that's what the budget should be doing. So if it does keep you from overspending, knock yourself out. Again, the credit card would not be used in a Ramsey scenario. Monthly, which then fills up again after 2 paychecks. I know that since I get paid bi-weekly, and we bolded this part, there's supposed to be months where I get 3 paychecks. No, they're not supposed to be. There are. And I should put those whole paychecks into my long-term savings. I don't know about that. No, you don't do it. Well, again, it's difficult to say, because if you're trying to follow Ramsey, you would not be having extra savings. You would be applying that money to whatever baby step you're on, because you would already have the full emergency fund, assuming you don't have any debt. I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to identify that month and move the money. Okay, well, you have to be aware of what day your payday is, and if you don't know that, find out. See, that's another danger of having everything automated. If you have direct deposit, that's great. I have that as well. But I also, guess what? I know my payday, and I look at it to see how much it is. I mean, you can check it in advance. I can go on the app and check it like maybe a day before it gets there, that kind of thing. But normally I just look once it gets there. So you should know when your payday is. And if you've already had 2 and you have another one before the month is over, then that's your 3. That's one of your 3 paycheck months. Will I know it was that month because? Oh, question. Will I know it was that month because I have $350 left in my spending account? Maybe, but you could also look at your deposit. You could also look at a calendar and know what day you get paid. Why can't you do that? ADHD doesn't keep you from knowing what day you get paid. All you have to know is one of them on the calendar, and then you go 2 weeks ahead and see, then I'll get paid that day, and then that day, skip that week, and then that day, skip that week, and then that day, and then you'll be able to figure it out that way. I don't know why that's such a problem for you. ADHD doesn't work like that, I don't think. You keep saying that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. And then I go and take it. So not only does it go, you take it. See, we don't need this part. The go and then I take the portions of that extra paycheck out of the 3-man accounts and move those portions to my long-term savings. Again, this is too much going on here. Again, knock yourself out if this is actually helps you keep track of it, but it sounds like it makes it more complicated for you. Does anyone else budget this way? I hope not. I hope not, because that's unnecessarily complicated, but if it makes sense to you and it keeps you on track for not spending extra money, then again, knock yourself out. So, but as far as the extra paycheck, even with ADHD, my son has that as well. He knows what day he gets paid bi-weekly as well. He knows what freaking day his paycheck's on. I mean, if you can't handle that, you have other problems other than ADHD. Alrighty. And we'll come back to that if we need more questions. Actually, we won't, because I have other questions from the Facebook group. Let's finish the Dave Ramsey subreddit questions. Reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey is where we are, and this is run by fans, not run by Ramsey Solutions. People think it is, though. The only group run by Ramsey Solutions is on Facebook, and it's called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community, and that's the other place where I do have some questions from there that we will probably get to, unless I'm very wordy about some of these answers. Pay off the house. The answer is yes. Beep. Let's see, is there a baby step that addresses that? Oh, look, baby step 6, pay off your home early. So yes, you would be doing that if you're on steps 4, 5, and 6. All those are at the same time. 5 is only applicable if you have kids and you also want to help them with college. Otherwise, you can skip that one, but then you're still doing 4 and 6 at the same time. You are not investing more. You are not saving more until your house is paid off and you're in step 7. The only investing you do is 15% of your household income, gross household income, to retirement. The only saving, you already have that done by the time you start investing, and that's 3 to 6 months of expenses, a fully funded emergency fund. And you don't do extra saving other than that, other than if you have a known upcoming expense, fine, you can do a sinking fund for that. Fine. My favorite example for that, of course, is tires. Tires do be wearing out, am I right? Anyway, pay off the house using the throwaway account, as some people I actually know my real account. Okay. Didn't need to explain it. That's all right. I moved earlier this year and bought a new house. It was hard to give up my low interest rate house, but moving was necessary. If you say so, we'll take your word on it. Just because you chose to do it doesn't necessarily mean it was necessary. Anyway, as I've only been in my house a short time, I still owe the full amount, around $400K, right? In the early days, you're paying mostly interest on that mortgage payment. I have around $650K in a brokerage account. And around $430K in 401K. Okay, the 401K you would not touch, but the brokerage account, you're dumb. You should have already paid cash for the house, you idiot. This is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Why are you dumb? Considering pulling from my brokerage account should have already been done to buy the house with at all. To pay the house off, but there are a few things giving me pause. That you want a debt leverage to keep the savings around. The biggest issue is my health. I work full-time and do well, but my health has declined to the point I may stop work within the next year. As it is, I'm only working about half of each day. My condition is only going to get worse. It isn't anything fatal, so currently in my very early 50s, I should still have a normal amount of life remaining, but you can't work. I mean, is this a psychosomatic deal where because you know you have this condition, it's mentally wearing you down, and so you think you can only work half the day? Or are you physically only able to work half the day? That is a big thing. If it's in your head, you need to get counseling to have your head worked on. If it is actually a physical issue, if you can't do it, you can't do it. And so you have to plan the rest of your life out working, I guess, 4 hours a day. I can do anyway. It isn't fatal or anything. I still have a normal amount. Yeah, I read that already. Sorry. I have a military pension, approximately $48,000. That covers about 70% of monthly bills. Okay, good. I feel like for me, if I paid the house off, I could be pretty comfortable on my pension alone. You could be. You would not have a mortgage payment. But giving up that much of my brokerage account scares me. Why? If you keep the brokerage account, you'll still have a mortgage payment. Do you not understand that? Potential future major purchases, new roof, new HVAC, new car, etc. Maybe you don't buy that house then. Oh, but also it's potential. Okay, so let's not make up things. Like the roof may not be needed replaced, might not need to be replaced. Yeah, that's right. May not need to be replaced in your lifetime, as well as the HVAC as well. And a new car, you don't need a new car. What do you need a new car for? See, that's you're just being nutty at this point. Which makes me think, again, it's all in your head. Let's see. We'll chip away at the remaining balance. Certainly, if you have to get those things done, yes. But that's also why you should have an emergency fund. It didn't say anything about a full emergency fund, so you would keep enough for 6 months of expenses. You would do that, and that would be your full emergency fund. My financial advisor, always forget what FA means for a second, says I can currently pull around $2,000 per month from my brokerage account. Actually, you can pull all of it and pay off the house. But if you don't have a brokerage account to pay off the house, or you have a lot less in there, then that's less money for the financial advisor to make, right? That plus my pension essentially replaces my income from my job. I haven't been taking dividends, just reinvesting everything since my income and pension are plenty. I can make good arguments for paying the house off and for keeping the mortgage. Just not sure what the smartest move here is. What would you all recommend? This is not r/you all. It's not the you all subreddit. It's the Dave Ramsey subreddit. And his advice is right here in step 6. It says, pay off your home early. And if you have the cash for it, you pay that off immediately. You buy it completely in cash. You do not debt leverage. The debt would scare me more than not having the brokerage account laying around. People are nutty. I understand you have a condition of some sort. Didn't say what that was. And maybe you can only work 4 hours a day, but with your pension and what you can take out when you actually retire. Don't know if the person is retired or not yet. Didn't say. I don't think he said how old he was either. So all that would come into play as well. But again, if you pay it off, then you free up you don't have to pull out the $2,000 a month to pay off the mortgage, to pay the mortgage each month, rather. So yeah, it doesn't change. Your little situation does not change the Ramsey advice, it would be to pay off the house. And you should not have had a mortgage anyway. And congratulations on wasting all that money for all the paperwork and stuff like that. And etc., etc. And the interest that you already paid. Good job. I'm being sarcastic. No opportunity, 6488. Need help for my credit card debt. All right. I'll give you great advice. Pay it off. Stop being dumb. Pay it off. Stop looking for somebody to do it for you or way around it. It's trying to finesse it. No scheming and scamming. Let's see. Currently in $16,000 credit card debt across 4 cards and been doing only minimum payments. I make $2,800 a month, and after paying bills, I have $400 left over. Should I file for Chapter 7/13 bankruptcy or do the snowball method? You do the snowball method. All right. The first thing you do is you work more and you spend less. You don't go out to eat, which I bet you're doing. I bet you're spending money on all sorts of dumb crap. And you just stop that and you don't do that. And you just don't have a fun life for a hashtag season. Wow, that's pretty annoying when I do that. I just looked over to my monitor where I could see the stream and it shows me doing that. That's pretty annoying. I'll try to remember to not do that. Major Earth. Anyone try the updated every dollar premium thoughts? I have not. Don't know. They added, the only thing I know for sure that they added is where it has built-in coach suggestions for you. Hopefully, like if you have a Starbucks category, hopefully it'll automatically come up with coaching and say, hey, cut the crap with the Starbucks. You're in too much debt. That would be fabulous if it would say that. Criticism 6686, starting full-time tomorrow, job tomorrow, tips. I talked about this a little bit last night. When you go there, be grateful that they've given you a job. They did not have to do that. You're not entitled to work there. Look decent. I mean, you don't have to, buy a brand new suit or anything like that. But look decent. Look kempt. So be appreciative of the job, as I said. Be early. Be at least 5 minutes early every day. 10 is fine. As I said last night, I get there 20 minutes early because I'm allowed to clock in, and that's 20 minutes of overtime a day. So what is the problem with that? So that's great. So especially if you can clock in early and get paid for that time, especially show up early. But otherwise, show up at least 5 minutes early all the time. And then they think you are taking it seriously, being an adult, etc., etc. And again, do not feel entitled to work there. Anyway, let's see. If I could read. Hey everyone, hi guys. As the title states, 22 years old. I'm starting my first ever full-time position as a civil engineer tomorrow. Fun times. My stepdad recommended following Dave Ramsey's financial advice, but I'm not sure where to even start. Baby step 0. Google it. I have all of my student loans to repay. That's step 2. That'll come up shortly. And for the time being, I'm living at home with mommy and daddy. Mommy and stepdaddy. I have no other payments to make except for a low credit card payment that I plan on taking care of first, and then close the freaking card and cut it off. Any advice would be greatly appreciated, even advice on where to start with Dave Ramsey. Anything you wish you've known or something that's made a big difference for you? Thank you in advance. Well, first is baby step 0, and it's difficult because it's not on the list. So, baby step 0 is one of the things you learn about by delving into the information. If you watch the show a lot, if you read the books, you figure it out. And that's a number of things. That would be, among others, that would be probably the most important thing is to, get a job. You already have a job. You're starting tomorrow, so that's good. Because the baby steps don't happen. You don't make your finances better by not without an income. Gotta have an income for that. Make a budget. Know exactly every dollar. That's why they call the budget app every dollar, so you can be intentional with every dollar. You know where every dollar is going in advance of the month. If something comes up, especially when you're single, it's very easy. You can have a quick budget meeting with yourself and say, I'm just going to add that to the budget. Now, you don't want to make a habit of doing that every single month. You want to do without some things as well. What else? Back to baby step 0. You get current if you're behind. Doesn't sound like you're behind on anything, on any debt payments or any other thing. I guess you live with mommy and stepdaddy, so you probably don't have any, you're not paying utilities or anything like that. Might be paying for your phone. But anyway, if you were behind on something, you would be getting current. And again, that's even before step 1, where you saved $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. What is it? You get to make sure you have the 4 walls: housing, transportation, food, and clothing. I feel like for me, clothing shouldn't even be there, because you got to be really nutty to not be, wearing clothes, or to constantly be wearing things that have holes in them. And that's fine to go out walking or go play basketball at the rec center or something like that. Holes in a shirt, that's fine for that. But like for work, have a decent shirt. Have some decent shirts for that. But that doesn't mean you have to buy one every month or one every week, like some people like to go clothes shopping every week, and that is nutty as well. So those are the 4 walls. What else? And then it's the mindset thing, where you say, my dumbass debt is stupid. It's dumbassery. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay all of it off, and I'm not ever going to take out any more ever again, except for perhaps a mortgage for a house that I live in. And of course, the advice for that is to pay full cash. But if you can't do it, Mr. Ramsey will not yell at you for getting a mortgage on a 15-year fixed, where the payment is 25% or less of your take-home pay. Let's see, anything else? We did mindset. We did make the budget. I can't remember if I said make a budget or not. I know I talked about it at some point. I don't know if that would be part of baby step 0 as well. And so once you've done all of that, get insurances in place. Make sure you have all your insurance. Says nobody's dependent on your income, I'm assuming, at this point. And so you don't really need life insurance, except maybe enough to bury you, so you can get that if you want to be classy. But you get any insurances in place. Assume you already have vehicle insurance. Assume you have your own vehicle, and maybe you don't. Who knows? But once you get all of the baby step 0 stuff done, then you would start on baby step 1. You save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. And another thing that is not stated on the list, so you can't really give people too much static for not knowing this, but it's step 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time in order. And people screw this up so much, I put it in my ticker below there, ticker at the bottom of the screen, letting you know that steps 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time in this order, one at a time though, without even thinking about higher steps. That's a no. You complete step 1 first before you go down, and that would seem to me like a logical way. Of course, human race is not logical, of course, as we all know. Spock would tell us that, and he'd be right about that. But it would seem to me that the logical way to do would be step 1 first, and then you check it, and then it's done, and then only then do you move to step 2. But no, there's questions on here all the time. There was just one the other day where I'm on step 1 as well as or step 2. I can't remember. It was either 1 or 2, as well as other baby steps. No, you're not. If you are, you're doing it wrong. What up, Haslin? So yeah, don't do it wrong. But yeah, step 1, 2, and 3, one at a time, without doing further steps. Steps 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time, as if they're applicable to you. If they're not applicable to you, like step 5, if you don't have kids or you don't want to help them, which I believe is this person's dealio, doesn't have kids yet. So once you get to step 4, you're doing 4 and 6 if you even have a house. Also, 3B is save the down payment. So again, you're not going to get every single thing from this list here. And so if you just go on this list and nothing else, don't dive into Ramsey stuff any more than this, you will end up possibly misinterpreting it and doing it wrong. Finished that one, didn't I? Oh, this is the full-time job tomorrow. Yeah. And so, but now anything I wish I'd known or something that's made a big difference for you? I wish everybody, knew that I wish there was something an easy way to tell somebody all of that stuff about the baby steps list without making the list overly complicated. And that's probably why they don't do that. So it's not that complicated. And they just require you, but something, something that made the big difference for me is just the no debt, not running my life on debt, not giving a flip about having a credit score, because it's not necessary. Anybody that says it's necessary to have a credit score is lying. They are incorrect about that. Trying to think of anything else, something I'd wish I'd known in advance, long before I found out about it. No, it's just my dumbass was somewhat familiar with the advice and didn't take any part of it until I was much older than you. I wish I would have done it at your age, at 22. Because if you do all this stuff correctly, you'll be in fabulous shape. Tracking down my hero couple. I've seen these two pop up on Ramsey videos all the time. I love them and their story, but who are they and where is the original full video, please? I'm not clicking on that. It might be somebody that did a debt-free scream. I don't know. Yeah. Don't know who that would probably be. Just somebody that did a debt-free scream, I assume. They have put some debt-free screamers gave them an expanded role in the Ramsey stuff by putting them as part their story part as part of FPU, Financial Peace University. So maybe you could take that class and find out. Don't know if it would be in there or not. But they have had that. Aslan said you should do a detailed step 0 to set up everyone. So set 1, maybe a 10-minute segment somewhere in your show. All right. Yeah, I was thinking about making just like a standalone video that not really live, because I think I talk about it enough in the lives. Just maybe make a separate video for it. But yeah, like a video on all of the steps and say like the things. And here's what people do wrong. Of course, there's also the how to do the baby steps right song, and that includes some of the things that people misinterpret when they read the baby steps and then they do it wrong. But yeah, that's a good suggestion, Aslan. Thank you so much. M. Night Tro. Okay. M. Night Row. Retirement versus crypto. Crypto would not be advised by Mr. Ramsey. Let's see what the question is. So mainly, I got some crypto. I want to buy and hold. All these changes within government being pro-crypto. Is it worth messing with long term? Mr. Ramsey does not advise it. Basically have Doge, XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, and Litecoin to be exact. How do you know? How do you make your decision which one to buy? What is it that made you buy these and not some other ones? See, that's the whole thing. I never understand that. There's 800 billion different ones. And so why would you buy one over the other? I would think Bitcoin would be the most, the famous one, the most bought one. But Doge and XRP are in front of it on this kid's list. Assuming it's a kid. A crypto kid. I have a little bit of Ethereum. Okay, well, that should be in this list then, instead of having a different sentence there. But crypto is not retirement. If you're going to listen to the Ramsey advice, he says no crypto. Because it's too volatile. There's not enough of a track record on it yet. Oh, look at that. We got a lot more. There's that. Where'd the crypto? Somebody delete the crypto question? Yeah, crypto question is completely gone. Interesting. Retirement versus crypto. Yeah, we did all these. Okay. Longhouse cash. No. Yeah, there we go. Chip Wonderful, $51.91. I have about $100,000 saved to purchase a home. My wife and have hopes. I'm assuming my wife and I have hopes of purchasing cash. Well, you don't hope it, you do it. You make that happen. In our purchase area, the cheapest livable homes, okay, livable, that's subjective, sir or madam. Sir, I guess, that don't need much money put into them are about $150K. We are on a bit of a time crunch as our house leases up in April, and I don't anticipate saving up another $50K before then. I think another 10 to 20K could be realistic before then. My question is this. Assuming I have 120K saved up for a 150K home, what is the best way to come up with that extra 30K? You could offer 120 for the 150 home, especially if it's been on the market for a while. Maybe they'll sell it to you for that. If not, per the Ramsey advice, he advises you to pay all 100% if you can. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. So you would put the 120 down and you would take out a $30,000 mortgage and you would pay that bad boy off really, really quickly. What's the best way to come up with that extra 30K? I don't want to dip in our emergency fund. Buying a house is not an emergency. Traditional mortgage for 30K. Yeah, would a bank even do that? I don't know why. If not, you can just do a personal loan for that then. Or some other method. Please let me know your thoughts. Thank you. No, but you can take a look and see what other assets you have. Again, if you have a dumbass brokerage account that you're not even including in this, that should be liquidated as well. To do that, to put towards the house. If you have an extra car laying around that you don't use, how about you sell that? Anything you have that's worth anything, you can sell it to try to make up that money. Otherwise, a $30,000 mortgage is fine with Mr. Ramsey. And again, you're putting 120 down and you only owe 30. So that's a pretty good situation. Wanted to cover each step in some detail. Yep. Take on an extra job till April. That's a good idea too. Good job, Aslan. I didn't even think of that one. Yeah. Work extra. Work overtime. Get a second job like Aslan said to do. Easy Ant 9037. Pay off my cars or put money into brokerage account. Step 1, save $1,000. Start emergency fund. Step 2, pay off debt. Non-mortgage debt. Consumer debt. Pay off debt, smallest to largest. That would include your car loans. Okay? And only once that's done do you save the 3 months for expenses. I do not see anywhere in here where it says instead of paying off your debt, instead of paying off those cars, put money into a brokerage account instead. I do not see that on here. You're dumb. Quit being dumb. My wife listens to David Ramsey all the time, and she's convinced to put all our disposable income out our car loans. Yeah, you know why? Because that's what his advice is. Work that out with her. Well, I wanted to put that money into our brokerage account. Our car did $55K. The only other debt is the mortgage. $400K. House worth $1.1 million. $700K equity. Small business worth $600K. Why do you have a car loan to begin with? IRA accounts at $900K, half in simple, half in Roth. Brokerage account at $75K, mostly in tech stocks. This year, the brokerage account is year to date plus 30. Yeah, everything is plus 30. If you have decent investments, actually, you should be a little bit over 30 because the S&P is at 30. So that means the NASDAQ is even higher. And then a managed large cap fund should be even higher than that. So that one, managed large cap should be 35 even year to date. Or no, not year to date, but within the last year is what I had looked for before. But if year to date is 30%, but this is the most. If it's mostly in tech stocks in this brokerage account, that would be why, because the NASDAQ is up higher than the S&P 500. But yeah, so you shouldn't even have this. You should have spent that money to buy the car already. You should have taken that out to buy the car or never even put it in there and had it in other savings or something like that to pay for the car. And so you never had that debt. But now that if you're going to follow the Ramsey advice, it is to liquidate 55 out of that. You can keep 25, but that is not the advice either. The other 25 or the other 20,000 rather would be put on the house. So there's no brokerage account. There's no brokerage account. it does say invest 15% of your household income into retirement, but it doesn't say anything about investing 1 single cent in a brokerage account. So that's a no. That's a nar. You would be putting that. It does say pay off your house early in step 6 there. So you would be doing that. So you're doing it wrong. But you have to work that out with your wife. Doesn't sound like you want to take the Ramsey advice. So you have to come up with some kind of compromise with her. They would do a personal loan with the rates are a little higher, right? Taking a small loan for a home is difficult at some banks. They're not making enough to make it worth their while. True. So for that, you might want to try. You might have better luck at a credit union, maybe. And of course, get in touch with Churchill Mortgage as well. That's who Dave recommends. State pension, I need some advice. I'd worked in college in a state where I was required to participate in the state pension. All right. So after 22 years of contribution, I took a new job in a different state. My pension contributions are still sitting in the origin state, the original mean state, earning 5% interest. My question is, should I leave the pension where it is and earn that interest, or should I roll it over to a traditional IRA and hope for better return? Well, it would get a better return because you would roll it over, and how that works is when you roll it over, all the different things it's invested in, which in a pension, not invested in anything, is just making that 5% interest. But basically that goes into the IRA as cash, and then you buy managed funds that beat the index, and you will get a better return. You don't have to just hope for it. You definitely 100% will do better than 5%. So yeah, do that. And if you want to, 22 years of contribution. So you might be a little older. So you might want to think about doing a Roth IRA instead, but you would have to pay taxes on the contribution amount. If you brought home $11,000 monthly after taxes, what mortgage payment would you be comfortable with? Well, that's going to be what, 2,500, 2,600 maybe, something like that. 20, like between 25 and 2,600 is what that would be a month. Average female 33, man 38, bring home 11K a month. We have 60K in savings, and my husband has 500K in an annuity plan. Mr. Ramsey, not a fan of those. Get out of it if you can. Through his work, which isn't accessible until retirement age. Maybe you can roll it to something. I don't know. I don't know about rolling annuities, changing them. Our health insurance is paid for by my husband's employer, and they also put $500 a month into a HRA for health-related expenses. You mean HSA? I don't know what HRA is. Everything we own is paid off besides our house, which is a balance of 230K and around 180K in equity and a 2.7% rate. And now we have to upgrade the house. We need a bigger house, right? We're going to keep this an Airbnb because of its close proximity to state parks. If this doesn't work out, we will sell. But our friends are profiting $6K a month with a smaller house nearby. That doesn't mean that you will. Okay? Just because you want a larger house doesn't mean you should automatically be a landlord. People are nutty with that. Never ever wanted to be a landlord until the second you decided you needed a bigger house. And then you're like, I'm going to keep the other house. And so the Ramsey way to upgrade in house is you use the equity in your current house and you save money and add to it to upgrade house. So that would mean not a new mortgage or not any more than you already have. So like you could take out a 230K mortgage, and so you would have the 180K in equity, and so the rate's not going to be 2.7 though, dog. So that would be a $410,000 house. $410,000 house, you would put that 180K equity down, and you would have the same mortgage. You do not Airbnb. You do not do that. You want to build a new home? Of course you do. On 25 acres that we own, because that makes it more expensive too. Good job. Own adjacent to our current property. I'm trying to figure out the max we should let our mortgage, including taxes and insurance, be. Well, since it's an upgrade from what you have now, it changes the rules. The idea is not to constantly be taking out a new mortgage. I know many of the things we aren't doing don't align with Dave's suggestion. Oh, well then why bother? Let's find out why bother. But I just want to know what you guys who are more frugal would consider a comfortable payment. That would be the 25, and that's what I said. What did I say? Between 25 and 2,600. So 2,600 max mortgage payment. Why? What is and why don't you say what the payment is? We aren't big spender. I don't buy things unless I'm getting a deal, with the exception of birthdays and other big events like vacations. But we have never had to keep a tight budget, and I'd prefer to keep it that way. Well, then you don't upgrade a house for no reason, and you certainly don't upgrade a house and also keep the old property to have an Airbnb then. You don't do that if you want to keep it that way where you don't have to keep a tight budget. How about that? How about that? And so I'm going to go ahead and guess that yeah, so I mean, so you're talking about you'd still have 2 mortgage payments. So that's going to probably be a no, because them combined is not going to be less than 2,600 probably. I would be most comfortable with 0 per month, yeah, but no more than 2,700 a month, right? Says Aslan. Alrighty, well, we did not get to any of the bonus questions, but we did completely finish. Unless somebody posted while I was just talking about that. They did not. Alright, so all done. So we need to let that replenish. So we'll be doing stuff from the budget subreddit and the Ramsey Baby Steps community on the Facebook. And I do have some questions already. See, there they are. I was ready. But I also should know myself better. I like to talk too much. And took the whole time getting done with the questions that were on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Alrighty. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you'd like to schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me, you know, if you're having money problems or you want to make sure you're on the right track, you can do that by emailing me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will work out a time and a place. We do that by Google Meet usually, or we can use any other video conferencing platform or software. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. It's right there. Alternatively, Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. It was not taken. Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. That same email address. Upcoming streams, and they are, as always, subject to change. I am starting moving this week, so that may affect it. somewhat. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. This is Monday. We already did Monday. The next one will be Wednesday, September 29th, October 1st, and maybe Friday, October 3rd, if I'm not moving on that day at that time. Plus answering your financial question streams 8 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, September 30th and October 2nd. And if I can't do an after show on Friday the 3rd, I may do a 8 p.m. stream at answering your financial questions stream, 8 p.m. On, again, Friday, October 3rd. Alrighty, and as it says, that's what it says about the baby steps right there. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. Thanks for watching, guys.